I'm doing great, Jermaine. Welcome to the Real Estate Corner. I'm your host, Shad Bogany. We're here every Tuesday from 6:15 to 7:15. I want to thank Jermaine for helping us produce the show back at KWWJ 1360. And we also got Crystal Holmes here in the studio with us producing the show for Iconic TV and on the digital channel 15.10. The numbers are 281-837-2222. Tonight, I'd like to try to get all the calls in. I know I missed a couple of you guys last week, and so I apologize for that. Sometimes I get on a roll and just I never looked at what the producer sent to me. So the numbers again, 281-837-2222. If this is your first time listening to this show, we're here every Tuesday talking real estate. And you're listening to the granddaddy of them all, the Real Estate Corner, and I'm your host, Shad Bogany. I'm a broker associate with Better Homes and Gardens, Gary Green. You can also follow me on Facebook. I have a Facebook page. You can follow me there. We bring in a lot of tips, and you'll find that I'm a fun guy. I try to, on Facebook, have fun things going on my site, but most importantly, try to educate you on what's happening in the real estate market. The numbers here are 281-837-2222. I hadn't done this in a long time, but if you're looking for a website to go to look for homes, go to my www.shadboganyteam.com. You can see the people on the team there. It's a great website. We've got videos. You can search for homes. It's got a direct feed. And when I say a direct feed, it is updated every 5 minutes. Not a lot of websites have that same feature. But go there to my site and visit it. And we highlighted a few communities that we work in, but the bottom line is we work all over the city of Houston. This show is brought to you by American Title, 5802 Val Verde, and Prosperity Bank with the best loan program, the UHOP program that's available if you qualify for it. It's a great, great loan program. I want to thank my sponsors for coming in with us and working with us to keep this show on the air. The numbers again are 281-837-2222. If you're stuck in traffic, I will tell you, keep your radio on 1360 AM. I was watching the Astros before I came on the air, and they were up 4-0. And somebody was saying, hey, I think they may be able to pull out. I said, not until the 9th inning and we get the third out. Can you ever say the Yankees are behind what's going on? The numbers again, 281-837-2222. So let's start off in the real estate note sections, and I want to give you a couple of tips that I saw. Someone sent me an email the other day, and this was Rockland Insurance Companies. So I never really promote any insurance companies, but they sent me an email, and they had a link on their site that I thought might be helpful for my listeners and TV viewers. The link is www.checkmyfloodzone.com. So you can go to this site, put your address in, and it'll tell you what your flood insurance would be based on the amount of what your house is on tax rolls for. So I went in and said, before I tell people about this, let me go in and put mine on, and it immediately gave me what my flood insurance would be. So that's checkmyfloodzone.com. Let me repeat that one more time because I'm giving them free advertising. And then the other thing about insurance is that doesn't matter which insurance company you go to, the rates are all the same. The key is whether or not these have the most updated flood maps in their office. So it's www.checkmyfloodzone.com. You can also see the insurance company who provided it. I think the lady is Patricia and her phone number. But I thought, wow, this is pretty cool. I don't have to guess at a flood. I can just go in and put that www.checkmyflood.com, flood zone, excuse me. Let me repeat that again because I've just messed it up. Check my zone, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about my Astros. Checkmyfloodzone.com. Let me repeat that one more time. Checkmyfloodzone.com. And if you go to that website, Rockland Insurance is one is promoting it, but I used it and it worked well. Okay, last week before we left the air, I told you I was going to talk a little bit about FICO scores and what kind of FICO score do you need to be able to purchase a home. Typically, you can get a 580 FICO score with FHA. You may have a little bit higher interest rate. You may have to put a little bit more down, but they'll do a 580 credit score. If you're one that does not believe any credit, you won't have a FICO score if you just deal in cash. So the things that are out there for you with the FICO score, usually it's 620 and above on FHA, 640, 650, 660, typically is what conventional wants to see. Now, this is what makes Prosperity Bank program so good. It's a 600 credit score. Yeah, 600 credit score with Prosperity Bank. But the thing that makes your FICO score go up and down is that people tend to believe that if you pay your car on time, it keeps your FICO score pretty much flat. If you don't pay your car note on time, it brings your FICO score down. FICO score is based on the availability of credit. So for example, if you got a 500 credit score, a 500 limit, and you got $100 open, you're going to have a low credit score. If you got a 500 limit and you have nothing on it, your credit score is going to go up. So it's based on revolving credit, not installments, involving. But if you don't pay your installments on time, it will cause your credit score to go down. Numbers here again, 281-837-2222. So that's the deal on FICO score. We're getting most people FICO scores up around about 710, 720. I would probably say 40 to 50% of people are up in that range there. But FICO score is something that 20 some years ago, I had a guest, Jim McBride, who was a mortgage guy, and Jim could get anybody loan done. And he called me one day and said, Shad, we need to come on your show and talk about FICO scoring, because that's where everything is going. That's what car dealers use. And so it is basically taking over the mortgage business, and they use FICO score to determine what kind of interest rate. So the better your FICO score, the better interest rate that you're going to have. And typically you may be able to get into some of the programs. Most of the down payment assistance programs require at least 620 credit score. What else is on my list today? The numbers are again, 281-837-2222. Give me a call. Please give us a call. All our lines are open. We will try to get you on the air. And just call us at 281-837-2222. I didn't get a chance to mention this because the numbers came out after last week's show, but I wanted to talk. We've just got the Houston Association of Realtors housing market let up for September, and showed there was no let up for September. September was the second highest month in sales over last year's sales, up 9.5%. Right now we're running at a 3.8% ahead of last year's sales. 2018 was the best year ever, and it looks like 2019 is going to continue with that. There's no end in sight at this point, and I think a lot of that, as I'll talk later, has to deal with inventory. For the second month in a row, 250 to 500,000 is where most sales are. We saw a jump in sales over last year in this price point at 18%. The second of most was between 500 and 750. That was right at about 12.6%. And we saw a slight decline at 750 at 2.6% in there. The month of September, the median price of a home was the highest ever in September, and that is right at $244,000. September record was up 1.5% on the average, so the average home price in Houston is up around $298,000. Months of inventory. A year ago was 4 months. This year is 4.1 months. So I'll basically say that we are seeing a little bit more houses for you to look at, but they're at higher prices. Registered in June and July was the highest that we've had available at 4.3 months, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Leasing. If you're leasing a house, guys, out there, let me tell you where we're at with leasing a home. If you're leasing a home out there, leases were up 6.9%, and $1,800 a month is what a house, an average home will cost you to lease in today's market. Townhomes are somewhere around $1,589, $1,600. So if you're leasing for less than that and you've got a landlord that you're mad at, you might want to try to work something out with them because of that. Numbers again, 281-837-2222. Give me a call. All our lines are open right now. Let's see what else on the monthly update that I wanted to cover with you guys. Dollar volume is up 10%, and that had a lot to do with the rising prices of homes. Active listings in the Houston area. Except a year ago, we had 41,000 available. This year we have 44,000 available. Single family sales are up 9.5%. And single family pending sales are the ones in September that didn't close, and they're pending for October. And a gigantic jump, 18.9%. So that is the market of what's happening in the marketplace out there. I wanted to share with you, those who are looking between 100 to 150, we had a 15% reduction in homes available for sale in that market, and it's not any. And if you're looking for $1 to 100,000, we had a reduction of 10% in that market. The majority of sales, this is 70, almost 80% of the sales is between 150 and 500,000. Let me repeat that again. 80% of the sales is between 150 and 500,000 out there in the market. The numbers again, 281-837-2222. This show is brought to you by American Title. My favorite title company, that's Shirlene Clancy. Her number is 713-784-0006. She's at the Valverde office, and that's the one I would suggest you go. It's located right outside the Galleria off of Chimney Rock, Valverde. And it's easy to get in and easy to get out. The numbers again, give her a call, 713-784-1006. And I'm going to tell you, if you're refinancing your house and you're trying to take advantage of the refinance market, give her a call, because most mortgage companies are going to say, pick a title company, pick Shirlene Clancy and let her do the title work for you. If you're thinking about doing a for sale by owner, pick Shirlene Clancy and let her do the title work. You transferring title from one relative to another, so you're giving a property to your son or your daughter, use Shirlene Clancy and let her do the title work for you. Numbers again here, 281-837-2222. I've got lots of things to talk about. I'm going to talk about a subject. Before we do that, I talked last week a little bit about down payment assistance, spent some little time on it. There's a group out there called TSHAC. TSHAC is the State Affordable Housing Corporation out there. They've got down payment assistance available out there. And if you're in the greater Houston area, the amount for 1 or 2 people in target areas is $91,550. And if it's 3 or more, you're in $106,820. A target area, and that's how much income, either 106 or 92 in a target area. So what makes a target area? Typically it's a census tract that they're trying to revitalize, update. So I'll give you an example. A target area could be in 3rd Ward, where I talked about last week, the house that we have located on 3206 Windburn. That would be in a target area. A house located in Independent Heights would be more than likely a target area. If you're looking in City Gas, that would be a target area. Now, if you're not in a target area, the amount of income you have is $61,680. And so what is TSHAC offering you? On the FHA at 620 plus, so you got to have at least a 620 with them, 4.125 with 3% of down payment assistance. 4% is at 4.625 interest rate, but they give you 4 points of assistance. 5% down payment assistance, they give you at 5.25 is the interest rate. So if you're looking for that, that's what you have available to you. And if you get into some of the other programs they've got the MCC program. And so this is TSHAC, Texas State Affordable Housing Corporation. This is what's available with them. So this was a down payment assistance program that I missed last week, and I wanted to bring up to you. So basically, if you're in a non-targeted area, it's $61,680. And if you're in a target area is going to cost you anywhere. When I say cost you, everything's income driven, guys. So it's going to be $91,000 for 1 or 2, and if you 3 or more, up to 106 in those areas. The other thing I wanted to bring up to you was the ability that the 2M&5 community, 2,500,000 Community Wealth Building Day. This is put on by the Houston Black Real Estate Association. It is November 9th. It's from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturday at the Power Center. It's going to be at the Power Center. If you're interested, you can call 713-551-2092, and that's 832-264-7286. Or you can go out to their website, www.hbreahouston.org. They're going to be giving $500 away there, and they're going to have vendor booths available at these workshops and sessions. They're going to be talking about wealth building through real estate, how to leave a legacy, investor forum. They're going to have veterans buyer workshop, credit counseling, and they're going to talk about wills and trusts. They're going to have a 203K workshop. So if you're thinking about buying a house and it needs some repairs, they're going to tell you how to do it. Mortgage counseling, mortgage foreclosure prevention. This event will be November 9th, 2019, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Power Center. And I just wanted to let everybody know about that. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with the Real Estate Corner. My name is Shad Boggett, and the numbers here again are 281-837-2222. That's 281-837-2222. All our lines are open. Give us a call. We're talking real estate as we do here every Tuesday from 6:15 to 7:15. I'm a broker associate with Better Homes and Gardens, Gary Green. If it's your first time listening to the Real Estate Corner, we've been on the air now 29 years. We've been doing this show. And so give us a call. The numbers again, 281-837-2222. That's 281-837-2222. And we'll try to get you in. I know I left a couple of you out on the cold last week, so I'm trying to be conscientious of getting you on, and I do appreciate you listening and calling the show. For those who are watching us on Saturday morning, thank you for watching. Thank you for letting us into your home. And I hope that if you miss a show, you can subscribe to our real estate channel on YouTube, the Real Estate Corner YouTube channel. You can subscribe there. And but if you miss us on Saturday on Iconic at 1510, you can also catch us Sunday night at 8 p.m., the Real Estate Corner on Iconic TV. We'll be right back with the Real Estate Corner, and when we come back, I'm going to talk a little bit about home builders. Do they get buyers? What are they not getting that we in the resale market do get? And I'm going to talk a little bit about buying a new home. And so don't turn the dial. We'll be right back with the Real Estate Corner. Welcome back to the Real Estate Corner. My name is Shad Boggett. You're on and listening to us on KWWJ 1360. You can catch us on Saturday morning on Iconic TV, and you can also catch us on Roku channel. Just subscribe to that channel and be a part. We are there also on Iconic TV 15.10. Home builders, do they really get you when you're talking about building a home? Sometimes a newly built home, you feel kind of unappreciated, you feel disoriented, you're overwhelmed by the new home building process, and you don't really understand it. You think things should be this way and it's not that way. And so what are builders not getting? I will tell you right off the bat that one of the things that I'm beginning to see in most new homes that being built, especially in the entry level, they're putting big showers in the master bath. Well, they say that everything says that the consumer says a big shower in the master bathroom is okay. And one of the things that you'll find about building new homes is that it runs in cycle. They were doing showers in the master in the 70s. And then they went out of that and went to separate shower and tub. Now they've come back to putting the shower in the master? Well, I'm going to share with you on a resale or somebody who's owned a home before, most of them are going to look for that tub in the master bedroom. I don't think I would do a tub build a house without a tub in the master bedroom, because most people are going to want it on a resale side. They expect it. So most of the builders, do they really understand you? You don't find all the builders are online, but normally you probably can get a better experience on Amazon looking at a coffee maker and learn more about that coffee maker and know if that coffee maker is available quicker than you would about a new home that you're spending $600,000-700,000, for example, for. Builders, they're all digital, but is the site really that helpful? Are the homes that they show on the site there? Or do they show you how many Manaport virtual tours that you may see out there? A lot of the builders don't really meet the millennials, people who are very digital on searching for homes, because a lot of people begin their search online. I find myself, when I'm looking at a new, going online to keep me from driving out to a builder, I don't get really, I may get floor plans, but I see very little interaction of it. I don't see the backyard. I don't see the side of the house. I don't see a lot of those things. And when I'm looking for homes, not knowing who you can trust, finding a new home buying process is harder than expected. Not being able to visualize the desired kitchen that you want. So for example, they show you a floor plan and then it may have 2 or 3 different kitchens, but it would be pretty cool, new home builders, if you actually showed a picture of, not the floor plan, but the picture of what that kitchen looks like. And you've got them. And a lot of these builders, now I've seen some builders, we're not naming any names, they'll actually walk you through the process of building the home from dirt all the way to finishing. But you would think that would be on every builder site on that end. When buyers hit a friction point, 10% of the buyers, when they hit a friction point with a builder, not feeling comfortable, they switch to other builders. Buyers are twice likely to engage a real estate professional. And 35% of those will never see a new home again once they go to a real estate professional. So if you're a builder out there, you can be, if you're more customer friendly, you can get these buyers who are going resale in a lot of cases. Buyers are 4 times likely to buy a resale, which explains why 90% of the purchases out there are resale. Because all these buyers, the resale market is zillions of years ahead online than what the builders are. And so some of the builders are doing like their own HAR.com, but typically a lot, you see 2 or 3 pictures, you may not, well, you got to see at least 6. You don't see anything about the communities. It's so much more. And a lot of times, if you ever go to those sites, I know I've gotten frustrated with them, they don't work as well. So my thing, how do you fix the problem? Builder fix the problem. The problem in many builders are being authentic. They need to be authentic about it, just not in the online way you used to. Decide what it means to you and what resolves the quandary when it comes to being authentic online. Home builders are in the business of building homes, not in the business of paralleling online experiences of what their home will likely be designed or have a built-in. But if they were, they would sell more new homes. You live in a digital first world now. People are phone ready. How many of these sites are mobile sites that you can actually see and go through and do everything on your mobile site? There are 2 sides to home buying. How does it work? The resale industry listens to their buyers. Real estate professionals seem to exceed in communication expectations, whether it's online or off. People are there, have resale digital efforts to spoil buyers for less interactive. I think buyers want communication. They want you to return their phone calls quicker. They want you to be able to give them answers. And I think they start online. And so a lot of times they get frustrated online. Managing expectations, builders, guys, you got to do that. And, you know, as you listen to my show, you'll find that builders play the game of, if you buy my house, I'm going to give you, and use my lender, I'm going to give you $3,000 in closing costs. And what happens is that you're using their lender. Doesn't mean that you're going to get the best lender. Doesn't mean you're going to get the best interest rate. And occasionally you'll see a really low interest rate because they brought the interest rate down. But overall, if you have issues with your loan, most builders don't really work that hard to help you clear those issues up. And I'll say this about builder mortgage companies. It's sort of, they don't seek business, the business comes to them. The builders are sending them business. Where a regular mortgage banker is out there hustling. If your loan doesn't go through or something needs to be done on your loan, he's going to work with you to help get it done because he doesn't get paid until the deal is done. So you have to be careful. So don't get caught up in the shiny, bright things that builders offer you. That's why it's so important, in my opinion, is to hire a professional and make sure that professional has had some work with new home sales. And I'll share this with you the way the Shad Bogany team does it. We come in and we stay with you the whole way. We go to your walkthroughs. We go to your meeting with the builders. In the past, we've even gone to help you pick out stuff. In some cases, if you were out of town, you told me to pick things out. So I designed that house with colors and granite and all that and cabinets based on what I like and hope that you like it. So we as realtors really do go the extra mile to help. Now let me say this with you. I've just painted this great picture of what the realtors do when they're dealing with builders. Not all realtors are the same. So that's a question that you might want to ask. Now, a new home sale is an easier sale because you got the sales counselor working with you on the other side. But my feeling is that you have to take the time, listen to your buyers when you're dealing with new homes and make sure that they're being taken care of by the builder. The sales counselor, I don't care how much they smile, how much they give you cookies and share water with you, they're not your friend. They work with the builder. And their job is to look out what's best for the builder. Well, at least have a sales counselor, if you have a sales counselor there. And there are some exceptions, but they're rare. But there are some exceptions out there. I think that you need to hire a realtor and let him work with you going through the process and answering questions for you and making sure that everything is done right. And by the way, for buyer's representation, the builder normally pays for that representation just as they do in a resale transaction on that end. So that's working with builders. That's my take on that. And if you need more information in regards to that and you want somebody to work with a builder, don't hesitate to give me a call at 713-667-1000. We've worked with people building on their own lot, helped them find a builder, manage the process the whole way through the process. I've worked with several big building companies that build on your own lot. I was very disappointed in the service that I got and never gone back to them, even though it's a lot of fluff, got a bunch of models to look at, but actually when you get into the deal, it is not that easy, and that was just a very bad experience that I had there. The numbers again, 281-837-2222, 281-837-2222. Give me a call. And the last thing before we move on before we take a commercial break, keep in mind when you're working with builders, don't get caught up in the shiny things like a bunch of closing costs. What if the lender the other lender that you've been working with doesn't charge all those closing costs? Or you ask the lender that you're working with, can you meet that? So many times in this industry, a buyer will work with a lender, get their credit together, do everything, and they walk into a builder and the builder says, well, I'm going to pay your title policy for you if you use my lender. Don't get caught up in the shiny things. I just want to share that with you. And so many times I have buyers calling me and say, Shad, I work with the builder, lender, and nobody's calling me back. Then I must get involved. So that's my take. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with the Real Estate Corner. My name is Shad Bogany, and thanks a lot for listening. The numbers here again are 281-837-2222. And if you're at home watching us on Saturday morning or Sunday night, thank you for allowing us in your home. We'll be right back. Caller that's held through the break. Caller, how you doing? Hello? You're on the air.
Okay, I was calling about my parents' house. They passed away, and my brother and myself, we had a house.
Okay.
I mean, but my sister had to pay like $40,000 to pay the taxes and stuff.
Right.
So she's saying it's her house, but we had a house. My dad gave me the house. So what do we need to do about this situation?
All right. So did your dad die with a will?
Yes, he did. He gave me and my brother in the will.
Okay. You need to get a family law lawyer. And if you got a will, get the will probated. And if your dad gave you the house in the will, then the house is going to go to you. Your sister, by paying the $40,000 in back taxes, how long have your parents been passed away?
Since 07.
Okay.
Is that right?
Okay.
I can't remember.
So with them passing away and you owing $40,000 in back taxes, just because your sister paid them don't mean that she owns the house at all. And so before she did that, she should have had a coming to Jesus meeting with everybody at the table. Now, the fair thing would be is to sell the house, pay her her money back on it, because she probably paid that money thinking that the house would be foreclosed and lost on. But I would get a family law attorney and sit down and try to work something out with them, because once your parents pass away, all those taxes come due. And so somebody should have been on top of that. And then you got all the penalties and all of that on top. So my suggestion would be...
She's done all that. She's done all that. She paid it.
Okay, so my suggestion to you is that to be fair to her, y'all might want to sit down with her and pay her back the money. But if the will gave you guys, you two people, the house, she has no leg to stand on.
Okay.
But if you want to save that relationship and... because y'all family, then I would say you sit down and work something out with her to pay her back, because she probably paid it just to keep from losing the house in foreclosure. Okay?
She did. So 3 people, we're going to split it in 3.
Right. Everything would be split in 3. Right. But that's what you would do to try to get her money back to her. And you don't have to do it that way, but that's the right thing to do.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great day. Numbers here again, 281-837-2222. If somebody would call in and tell me whether or not the Astros won, I would appreciate it. The numbers again, 281-837-2222. You're listening to the Real Estate Corner. Guys, if you're stuck in traffic on the way home, I want to thank you for keeping us on 1360. We're spreading the gospel of real estate tonight, as we do here every Tuesday night. If you hadn't had an opportunity to visit me on Facebook, please do. We have a lot of information that comes out on our Facebook page. We also have a Twitter account. Not as active there on the Twitter account, but I just will let you know that if you want to reach out to me, call me at 713-667-1000. If I don't return your phone call in a reasonable time, please call me again. I get so many phone calls. I get so many emails. And a lot of times I see it on my phone, and I get to the office, I forget to call you. So it's not that I'm ignoring you. Sometimes give me a call back, and let me say this, just call me back, leave a message, and it's okay to tell my staff, hey, this is the second time I've called. Then they're going to make an extra special effort to make sure I get your phone call. Numbers again, 281-837-2222. You can reach me at 713-667-1000. Please do not, thank you very much. Coach Greenleaf for sending me a text letting me know the Astros in the bottom of the ninth inning. Numbers again, 281-837-2222. Give me a call. All our lines are open, guys. Call me right now. We're talking real estate. So let's go to a topic that on 4 ways to get to save when you're selling your home. I'm going to go through these 4 ways to save money. First of all, you can stage your home yourself. Look at your house. Does it look like a model home? Is it too much clutter in this room? You got too many family pictures. You got too many crosses going down the hall or too many family pictures going down the hall. If you got books and stacks, some of the pictures I saw online today when I was looking with a client, and I'm like, really? You trying to sell this house and online it looks like that? You know, you got to stage your home. You got to make people think it's a model. There's a reason that builders stage the model home. They don't want that cost, but there's a reason they do it, because it sells the rest of the homes. Second thing that I wanted to talk about, pre-sale inspection. If you've been listening to me any amount of time, I'm one of the very few realtors that suggest that you pre-inspect your home, do the repairs, have your heating and air checked out. If you got a leaky faucet, fix it. If you got a roof leak, fix it. Even if you've got a stain in the roof from a previous roof leak, put some Kills on it, fix it. Because buyers come in. I've got a house I showed the other day, beautiful home, great area. The foundation had been repaired, but they never fixed the cracks in the sheetrock. And so constantly my buyer is saying it's got foundation issues. We've got a warranty. We've got a engineer's report saying it's okay, but in his mind, it still has foundation because he sees the cracks. So whenever you get foundation work done, you need to fix those cracks. Just as you get the roof repaired, you need to take those stains out. But pre-inspect your property. Pre-inspections are normally cheaper than regular inspections, but you're looking to see what's plumbing, electrical, central air and heat is done. And then at that point in time, if you need a handyman, you can get one to do those repairs. Once you get into a contract, you got to have a licensed repair guy. Fresh coat of paint. If you smoke, if you got dingy hands on, you're going up the staircase and your kids put their hands all on the stair wall. So you know what I'm talking about. If you go to the light switch and you got dark spots all around it, you know what I'm talking about. If you go to the garage door going out into the garage, most of them are always dirty. Paint them. Give it a fresh look on that end. Other thing, clean your carpets, guys. Clean your carpets. Clean them. You got stains in them, clean them. If you've got a pet, you really need to clean them and have them smelling fresh, because people who don't have pets, the moment they open the door, they can smell that you have a pet. So you need to make sure that your carpets are deeply clean. Make sure all of that's done up front. Fixing the roof. If you've got any roofing issues, fix your roof. I was looking at a house the other day and it had a fairly new roof on it, but it had one of those metal chimneys and it was kind of cocked to one side. Can't you go out and look at that from the street? Can't you see that? Straighten the chimney off, because it makes people think there's more wrong than is there. So fix your roof. $6,800 is what most people fix on a roof. 50% of that is labor costs on that end. Last but not least, you might want to try to negotiate your commissions. You might want to look at a flat fee company. You might want to look at a company that has a referral network of some sort. If you're trying to save on commissions, I will tell you one thing I've learned about real estate: there's no free lunch there. And when people cut their fees or discount, and nothing wrong with discount in fees, when people cut them, the services go back. So if somebody tells you the services all stay the same, it's not that way. It's just that I won't name the company, but I was dealing with a company that they paid their agent a salary. Yeah, they paid a salary to them. What I found is that I couldn't get them to return phone calls. Secondly, when we were negotiating on the contract, I didn't feel any will to make the deal work. It was just there. Oh, okay, no problem. And some of it didn't make a lot of sense to me. So I'm just sharing with you, if you want to save money, some things you can save on, you'll do better doing the first 3 things and then hiring the right real estate company to handle your transaction. But if you go with a discount brokerage, and if you go with a a flat fee person, you need to make sure you understand what you're getting for those fees. And so it is not the typical way. And by the way, realtor fees are all negotiable. Doesn't whether you're not or you're a flat fee or charging a certain percentage. Every realtor fee is negotiable, just whether or not they want to discount their fee. I've found myself, and I'll just tell you about me, I typically will charge a fee because I'm going to give you a 200% effort, and if I charge less than what I normally would charge, I don't know how to give you less. It's just not in my DNA. So I tend to not cheat myself and just give, this is what I charge, 'cause I'm gonna give you a 200% effort. And if I charge you less, you're still gonna get a 200% effort. And so why would I cheat myself? And I'll say this in the end, if I can't negotiate a fee for me, how am I gonna be able to negotiate for you when we get a contract? So that's my take on how to save money. And for those who are discount brokers, see, I mentioned you, for those flat fee companies, I talked about it. Let's talk a little bit about, let me see where we are on time. We've got a couple of minutes before we go to our Texas, do our ID break. The numbers here again are 713-667-1000. Give me a call if you're thinking about buying or selling. The Shad Bargaining team is there. I go to Utah tomorrow for a couple of days. I am going to the Council of MLS, Multiple Listing Services. This is where all the big MLSs get together and talk about what's happening in the industry, the changes. This is where I learned about blockchain, and all of a sudden I see blockchain in commercials and TVs. So this is a big meeting in Salt Lake, so I go there. This is the second year I've gone to this meeting in regards to the Council of MLSs. This is where they get together and see how to make it better and to keep the data accurate and so on. So I leave out there tomorrow to go to there, to Salt Lake, Utah. If you've never been to Utah, it's a beautiful city. Salt Lake is, and it's a beautiful area. And but it, didn't see a lot of diversity though. Just didn't see a lot of diversity there. But I had a great time. So this is my second time. We'll be in Salt Lake if God's willing. The numbers again, 281-837-2222. Let's take the station ID break. Welcome back to the Real Estate Corner. My name is Shad Bargaining. We've got a caller holding on line one. It is 7 o'clock straight up. Hey, caller, how are you?
Good afternoon. I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
And you might have already covered this, but what would be the pros and cons of building a home kind of isolated on its own property versus buying a home in a neighborhood where you would have the HOA fees, etc.?
Typically, if you're going to buy an acreage or you're going to buy in the country, the one thing, your value probably will not hold as well out there. And the reason for that is that if you've got your dream home that you just built, and then somebody puts a mobile home right next to you, or across the street or down the street from you, it tends to not hold value. If you're gonna do acreage and you want to be, and you really want acreage because you want to be away from everybody, then you want to have some sort of deed restrictions requiring so many houses to have a certain size. Some neighborhoods, you can build a 1,200 square foot house, then down the street you have a 16,000 square foot house. Those homes on the high end usually don't hold their value much. And so normally if you build in a restricted area, your values are going to be better than if you build in a non-restricted area.
Okay. Now, you mentioned the deed restriction. Is that something that would come with the property, or is that something I could dictate?
Well, deed restrictions are normally based on the subdivision that you're building in, whether it's in the country or not. If it's in the country and you just bought some land down County Road 39, it probably doesn't have any deed restrictions. So somebody across the street, which may collect cars. And I don't mean goodbye. You know, where if you have some sense of deed restrictions, you know it's some conformity there. And values are based on conformity. So if you're gonna build a really nice house, you want to make sure that the houses around you are gonna be nice. If not, then you're gonna probably take a hit on the values later on.
Okay. Now, would you recommend that just your personal preference? Would you recommend building on a lot, like you said, it might not even have a deed restriction versus buying in a neighborhood, or would it just be a personal preference?
I think it's a personal preference. If it's about building wealth, you want, most of the time, homes are the biggest value, net worth value, equity that we have. And so if you want to hold that, you want to be in where there's some restrictions of some sort. And you can have deed restrictions in an acreage neighborhood. Typically, it's based on size and what the houses look like. But if you build, as I used earlier, County Road 39, it's no telling what you're going to get next to you or across the street because there's no sense of conformity. So it's just a matter of, what you want to do. The guy across the street keeps pigs. And so you just built your dream home, and there it is, ongoing water across your front yard. Yeah. So you got to it just depends. And I tend to believe that values are held better when you're in some sort of conformity, some sort of structure. Maybe that's a better word to use.
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much.
All right. Have a great day.
You cleared some things up for me. Thank you.
All righty. Good luck now. And if you are building in an acreage community or building out in the country, you might want to ask the title company, is there any deed restrictions? Is there any size? And I learned this by a mistake that I made many, many years ago. I had a buyer who was buying out in Iowa Colony, and I'll never forget this. And they were buying out in Iowa Colony, and they were going to buy this land, and they were going to build their dream home on. Well, Iowa Colony had this rule that to build a house, you had to have so much land. And this particular property did not have that land, enough land. So you had to almost buy 2 lots to build there. And so that was a rule that I learned by experience, that even if you're out on County Road, and I'm using that as an example, you out on County Road 39, you need to see what the city codes are. Are they requiring what can you build on? Is the lot the right size? Those are some of the questions. If you're building in an acreage community and you don't want a 3,000 square foot house, you might want to check what the deed restrictions are. So it may say you got to be on minimum of 3,000, but you don't want one of 3,000. So you need to look at those. So if you're out in the country, look at what the county requires or what the nearest municipality requires. And if you're building in a deed restricted area, look at those deed restrictions before you seal the deal. Make that part of the deal. I need to find out what I can do. If you're building out in these rural communities, find out what the city rules are. Because like I said, I learned a lesson that I just didn't know. We are in the country, so I thought we could do whatever we wanted to do. But over there, you had to have a bigger lot to be able to build because they required it. There's some areas in 3rd Ward, in the Riverside Terrace area. You can't go buy a lot there in Riverside Terrace and subdivide it. The city has a rule that you can't subdivide in Riverside Terrace. And the majority, that's why you see very little townhomes in Riverside Terrace because of that rule. So anyway, you got to be careful of that. Numbers again, 281-837-2222. Wanted to talk a little bit about the existing home sales report that indicate now is a great time to sell your home. There's a report out there, and this is something I kind of led with a little bit earlier. Months of inventory. Let's talk about that. The seller's market is when you have less than 6 months of inventory. It's a seller's market. So if you're thinking about buying a house in a certain area, find out what the months of inventory in that area. If it's between 6 to 7 months, it's a neutral market. It's not a buyer's market, it's not a seller's market. But if it's 7 months above, then what you have at 7 months above is a buyer's market. So when you're trying to determine what offers that you're going to make on a piece of property, you have to look at the months of inventory. What is fueling the prices, regardless of what's happening in the economy, what is making people buy homes is a lack of inventory. Currently, right now in the Houston area, we got 4.1 months of inventory. Nationally, it's up about 4.3 months. So it is a seller's market, and it is a good time to sell your home. If you're ever going to get your value, you move the equity to the next house. And that's basically how you try to keep your payments down. And sometimes we hold too long. And then we decide that, oh, because the real estate market is cyclical. It's up, it's down, it's up and down. And so I get investors call me all the time and says, hey, I'm looking to buy property. Well, we're at the top of the market. So this new home I just listed and you send me an offer for $100,000, I have to sometimes ask, what are you smoking? Because you're not going to get that price. We're in a seller's market right now. And as you notice that the sales dropped in the 750 and up market, well, I would tell you at that market, you're probably in a buyer's market, just depending on what months of inventory. And so for those who are new to the show and you're saying, Shad, you're talking about 4.3 months of inventory, 4.1 months of inventory. What does that mean? Months of inventory says that if no one put their house on the market, we would run out of houses to sell in 4.1 months. Four months, let's just make it simple. 4 months, we run out of houses to sell. If it's 7 months, then that means in 7 months we run out of houses to sell if nobody from this date on put their house on the market. Next thing I wanted to talk about is home ownership net worth. See if I got any calls. The lines are open, 281-837-2222. If we've got any calls, give us a call. We've got about 6 minutes left in the show. Give me a call, 281-837-2222. Home ownership is the top contributor to your net worth. You've heard me talk on this show over and over again about net worth. Net worth. Why is it net worth? Well, what makes net worth? Most people, the majority of people, have their net worth in their home, and the next is retirement income. In the home, 34% to 35% in 2015 and 2016 was in their home. Retirement income, they were somewhere in the neighborhood of 28 to 29% in their retirement accounts. Stocks and bonds, net worth was somewhere between 8.7 and 9.3. Assets of financial institutions, anywhere between 8.5 and 8.8. Rental properties, anywhere between 4.6, 4.7. Composition of net worth. Let's talk a little bit about that. People, and this is what shows you with houses. In most homes, people have in their net worth. If you're less than 35 years of age, your net worth is about $45,000 if you own a home. But if you have a rental property, it's $21,000 less than that in rental property. If you're 35 to 44, your net worth is $62,000 in your home. In your rental property, it's $80,000. 75. If you're 45 to 54, net worth in your home is somewhere in the neighborhood of about $75,000 in equity. But in the 75, it's 80,000. I'm sorry, I'm reading, the writing is getting smaller here as you get older. 75,000 in equity in your home and 100,000 in your rental property. As you get 55 to 64, 120 in your net worth in your home and 110 in your rental property. So what does all this says is that once you buy a house, you should buy a second house. So if you combine the net worth from less than 35 years and you own a rental property, you've got roughly, let's break it on down to $65,000 in net worth. Net worth is about everything. That is why the difference in the African American community, net worth is so low, because the majority of you are renting. That is why the net worth is so low. Everything is about home ownership, and not just one, but another one, and another one, and another one. And the net worth, if you're 70 years of age to 74 years of age, now you're downsizing. So your net worth is 130 in your personal home, but your rental property net worth is now up to 200,000, because as you get older, you're buying more properties. So it goes on and on and on and on. in regards to net worth. Numbers again, 281-837-2222, 281-837-2222. We've got only a few minutes left in the show, but I wanted to kind of give you a history note right quick for those, and you never think about this when you're renting. Let's just say that you've been renting for 20 years. And let's just say your average rental is $900 a month over the last 20 years. Would you believe that you paid $216,000 renting at $900 a month? That's how much money you've given away. $216,000 and have absolutely zero to show for it. So let's just say you've been one of those people that has got a sweet deal. You're paying $600 a month. And you've been renting that same $600 a month apartment or house or studio for 20 years. Never owned a home. You've paid $144,000 is what you've given away over 20 years. So now let's get a little bit realistic here. Let's say $1,800 a month in rent. You've been renting for 5 years. You've been paying $108,000, guys, in money that you're giving away that you will never see again. You'll never be able to buy, send your kids to school, use your equity for reverse more, any of that. $108,000. And in 10 years, because some of you have been renting for 10 years, $216,000. And let's just take it 20 years. You've been renting for 20 years and you've been paying $1,800 a month. That's $432,000 that you've given away over that time. Let's just say you're really making good money and you can afford to rent something that's $2,000 a month. Let's just say you're making good money and you're renting out a home. In 20 years, you've paid $480,000 in rent. And nothing, absolutely nothing to show for it. Guys, I have my home buyer guides and I have my seller home guides. If you're interested in a home buyer guide or a seller guide, all you need to do is send me your email address at shad@bogny.com and I'll send you a PDF of my home buyer guide and seller guides. These are available to you out there in the marketplace. I want to thank everybody for listening to the Real Estate Corner. The numbers here again have been for my office is 713-667-1000. I want to thank all of you. I want to thank my producers, Jermaine Freeman and also Crystal Holmes. Thank you for listening to the Real Estate Corner, guys. We'll see you next week on the Real Estate Corner.